Hello, thank you for joining Senior Care Solutions Team WebEx today. The Senior Care Solutions Team was developed to help seniors and their families find a wide range of resources ranging from health and wellness to transitioning from your home into a new community. Today we're going to do a brief introduction along with a Q&A for some of our members of our team. My name is Lisa Wall. I'm a licensed sales agent that specializes in Medicare plans. I will not be participating in the Q&A today. However, I will be the moderator. At the end of this WebEx, I will give details on how you can contact me with questions. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our team members, the ones that are joining us today, and then I'll have the other two that can't join us at the end. Rhonda is our first team member. She's with Missouri Palliative and Hospice. Terrel, she's with Nurse Next Door. Braun with CarePatrol. Hilary with Past Elder Law. Brandy with Accessible Living. Scott with Terrace Home Health. And then our other two members are Wendy with Caring Transitions and Mike with Remax Heritage. So we have some questions that are already coming in right now. I have a question for you, Terrell. It's from Jackie in Blue Springs. What is home care service and why is it valuable?
Well, home care services are services that can be offered to, care services that can be offered to someone's home, wherever home might be. So it includes things like activities of daily living, maybe light meal prep, light housekeeping, transportation to appointments or doctor's visits. Some home care agencies, like the one I work for with Nurse Next Door, also offers skilled nursing assistance as well. The value of it is that it allows us to stay in place longer, wherever home might be.
Okay, great. Thank you, Terrell. Scott, I have a question for you from John in Lee Summit. He asks, how do I know if I qualify for home health? You need to unmute yourself, Scott.
Sorry about that. One of the major qualifiers for home health under most insurance plans is that the patient has to be homebound. All that means is that it is difficult or taxing for them to leave their home. Could mean that they require assistance from a loved one or that they have to use a walker or a wheelchair to leave their home. Qualifying for home health does not mean that you are stuck in your home and can't leave. Once you're receiving services, patients are still able to go to church, go to physician's appointments, go to the pharmacy, hair appointments, and even make occasional trips to the grocery store.
Okay, great. Thank you, Scott. Rhonda, we have another question, and it's coming from Gwen in Raytown, and she'd like to know, are hospice and palliative care the same thing? How is palliative treatment different?
That's a good question, and it's a common question, and the answer is no. Unlike hospice, palliative care is available to anyone that's facing a serious illness at any stage that they're facing that serious illness. And palliative care, you kind of look at it at two different options in the level of care, and hospice is going to give you the max amount of clinical care in their home that's possible. With our palliative, you can still receive palliative treatment, and it'll give you an RN 1 to 2 times a month, but while you're seeking curative treatment, and gives you that clinical oversight that helps tie in all those different doctors as a management team to help monitor your symptoms and your pain. And it just gives you unity of all these doctors coming together and being able to give collaboration of care. And then with our hospice team, it's you're no longer receiving curative treatment. And per Medicare guidelines, it's anyone, if you were to say somebody in 6 months from now, if you thought that without any medical intervention, there's a possibility that they wouldn't be here, that's when we say it's time to start looking at hospice and letting us bring you on and start focusing on the person's last 6 months of life to give them the best quality of life that they have left.
Thank you, Rhonda. That was a great explanation. Brandy, this is a question for you. It's from Bill in Grandview. His question is, my mom is struggling and I want her to move in with me, but she is adamant about staying in her home. Are there any ways you can help to keep her safe?
Absolutely. We start first with a free home assessment, and that will help us determine what we can do specifically to keep her safe. But some common solutions with us not knowing exactly what her struggles are is that we can provide install grab bars, build ramps, install shower chairs, set up fall alert buttons. So there's a variety of safety tactics that we can take in order to try to keep somebody at home, but also safe.
Okay, great. Thank you, Brandy. Brandy, we have another question for you. Bill would also like to know, is any of this covered by insurance?
Ooh, that's a question I get most of the time.
I'm sure
And
you
most
do.
of the time, the answer is no. So, but that's where we get creative. So first of all, we give you that prioritized list of solutions so you know what to focus on and do the first thing, the most important thing first. So we can wait until you're ready to do the next thing. Also, it's important to know that our average ticket price is about $250. So it doesn't have to cost thousands. We also accept HSA and FSA cards, and we sell refurbished equipment for many of our most frequently needed items. And that can really cut the cost in half. And if it is an item that's covered by insurance, like a wheelchair, we'll help you go through the process to get it covered. So it's kind of a mishmash, but we work through it together with you.
That sounds great. It sounds like you have some cost-saving ways for people that are concerned about how to pay for it. So Rhonda, we have a question for you. It's from Virginia in Grandview. She wants to know, what types of illnesses is palliative care appropriate for?
Palliative care is appropriate for any illness that causes long-term pain and discomfort, or comorbidities, a chronic condition that causes periodic symptoms. Some of the examples of these illnesses that people are seeking palliative treatment include cancer, heart disease, COPD, renal disease or renal failure, HIV and AIDS, chronic liver disease, MS, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, and then CVA, stroke, and then ALS.
Wow, that's quite a few types of illnesses that you take care of through Missouri Palliative and Hospice. I didn't realize all that. Hilary, along the lines of dementia, Luann is, her husband's dementia is getting worse, and she asked, can't I make decisions for my spouse if they become incapacitated?
Not regarding legal matters. Basically, if a signature is required, a spouse has no more power or authority than a third party. If anybody becomes incapacitated, in order for another to have legal authority to make decisions, they will either need to have a power of attorney in advance, or they will need to appoint a guardian through the probate court.
Okay, sounds like somebody should really visit with you about what their options are before thinking they can make a decision. Ron, Bill from Raymore asked, when should we start looking for assisted living?
So the biggest thing I would always say to people is that it's always better to plan than to react. And so you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you have to make a decision in an urgent matter. But probably the three primary areas that really you should look at is that number one being safety. If it's not safe for you to continue to be in your own home, or social isolation. If you're not you're by yourself and you don't want to be alone, you need some interaction with other people, or probably or just your own ability to do ADLs, activities of daily living, or instrumental activities of daily living, the things that you need to do to take care of yourself at home. If those are getting harder for you to do, then it's probably time to start looking at assisted living. But again, a little bit of planning up front will make it a lot better of a process than trying to react to something when there's a change happens.
Okay, so Ron, another question along the same lines from Jolie in Kansas City. She wants to know, how do I know if a retirement community is a right fit for me?
Well, I mean, every community kind of has its own vibe to it. So we like to, what most placement services will do for you is provide is help to understand what type of community you're looking for. What are the care needs? In Missouri, you have multiple levels of assisted living that can provide the care needs. And then the third thing is really the finances. Assisted living in Missouri is primarily private pay. So if you're looking for assisted living, you got to find something to meet your budget as well. So those three things really are going to help address what you should be looking for.
Okay, yeah, great answer. Scott, we have a question from Annabelle in Blue Springs. Having a nurse or a therapist come to my home sounds expensive. How can I afford this?
It actually doesn't have to be that expensive. If the patient that we're working with has Medicare, skilled home services are covered at 100% under Part A. Outside of that, almost all insurance plans cover home health at some percentage. When we receive a referral, that's one of the first things that we do is we check the benefits for the patient. We go over those benefits with our referral source, whether it's the physician, a wound care doctor, wherever that referral came from. We go over those with the referral source and the patient. So there should never be any unexpected costs or surprise costs through your time with home health.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ron, back to you. Just been talking about costs. Belinda from Raymore is trying to place her mom and wants to know how much does assisted living cost?
Well, yeah, I kind of alluded to it earlier in that there are, in Missouri, there are 4 levels of assisted living. There's a residential care facility levels 1 and 2, and an assisted living facility levels 1 and 2. And so the costs vary quite a bit between those 4 levels. Primarily, it's going to come down to, what kind of services and amenities that you have, the size of the apartment that you rent in place. Do you have any place from everything from a shared room to a 2-bedroom room? So whatever it has that you happen to look for. And then, so we have costs that range from less than $2,000 a month to greater than, more than $8,000 a month. So it really can depend, but it's important to understand to get a community that actually matches the needs that you have.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like, there's something for everyone in every price range. So that's good to know. Terrell, this is a question for you. Clyde from Independence has been having a lot more falls and wants to know who needs in-home care and when do I qualify?
Anyone that needs assistance with, again, maybe activities of daily living, or someone who's no longer able to do the things that they used to be able to do in the past, maybe by themselves. We kind of look at ourselves, most home care offices and agencies look at themselves as someone to be an extra set of hands to work with people just to assist in those areas. And as far as qualifying for home care, there's no specific age in order to qualify for home care services.
Okay, all right, thank you. Rhonda, this is a question for you from Krista in Lee Summit. She says, my dad has been gradually declining the past few months. How do I know when is the right time for hospice?
Typically, when the prognosis becomes 6 months or less and the primary focus is not so much on, it's no longer on curative treatment, it's basically about giving them the best quality of life that they have left. And hospice is the highest level of medical care an individual can receive in their home. And we focus on pain management and symptom management, symptom control. And we don't just treat our patients, but we treat the family, and they're considered a whole in regards to their needs. We provide emotional, spiritual, social, and physical support to them.
Okay, yeah, that's really nice that you kind of involve the whole family in that process and make sure everybody is kind of receiving that emotional support during that time. Definitely. Hilary, this is a question for you. Shirley from Raytown asked, which is better, a will or trust? I think people get those confused. So that's a great question.
Yes, a will only applies to assets that are going to go through the probate process. Most people hope their heirs and children can avoid probate due to the cost and the length of time that takes. To avoid probate, they can choose putting beneficiary designations on their assets or a trust. The beneficiary designations are cheaper to accomplish, but that option is very inflexible and does not adequately provide for most family situations or even future contingencies. A trust is almost always better for one's estate plan.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you for that information. And then Hilary, we have one last question. Monica from Lee Summit wants to know, why do some people say durable power of attorney and then others just say power of attorney?
Durable means that the power of attorney does not terminate if the person signing it becomes incapacitated. Since almost all powers of attorney are put into place to protect a person should they become incapacitated, the vast majority of powers of attorney are durable. Using the durable it's just for simplicity, really, is what it comes down to. There are laws describing what needs to be in order for that to be a durable power of attorney.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So this concludes our WebEx for today. We will continue to do this. This was kind of a sneak peek, just an introduction of our team today. Our group is called Senior Care Solutions Team. My name is Lisa Wall. I specialize in Medicare plans. If you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. You can email me at lisaewall1@gmail.com, or you can message me through our Facebook page, and I can get back with you at that time. So thank you again for joining us in our WebEx, and we will hope to visit with you soon and answer some more questions. Thank you.